gamers, welcome back to EPG-Every Platform Gamer, the channel where we cover gaming news and do deep dives across PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC, all of it. Mixtape is a short narrative-driven adventure centered on the final night of friendship shared by three teenagers at the end of the 1990s. Rather than focusing on challenge or mechanical depth, the game aims to capture emotion, memory and nostalgia through tightly directed scenes, licensed music and cinematic presentation. It is clearly positioned as an interactive coming-of-age experience rather than a traditional video game. At its core, Mixtape offers very light, intentionally simple gameplay. Players move through a sequence of memories and vignettes, interacting with environments and completing short minigames tied to the story and soundtrack. These include activities such as skateboarding, interacting with objects, framing photographs, and a brief rhythm or timing-based sequences. Mechanically, the game prioritizes accessibility and pacing over depth. Inputs are often limited to steering, timing out, or pressing buttons in sync with music or on-screen prompt. Several reviewers note that Mixtape sometimes feels closer to watching an animated film than actively playing a game, with gameplay existing mainly to keep the player physically engaged in the emotional flow of scenes. That said, the constantly changing interactions and short length of each gameplay segment prevent repetition or boredom. The game is careful never to linger too long on any mechanic, ensuring momentum is always tied to narrative progression rather than challenge. Visually, Mixtape adopts a stylized cinematic aesthetic that strongly reinforces its themes of memory and adolescence. Characters are rendered with soft, expressive designs, while environments often shift into surreal or psychedelic visuals during heightened emotional or musical moments. The overall art direction evokes the feeling of nostalgic recollection rather than literal realism. Scenes sometimes blur reality, fantasy and memory, creating transitions that feel dreamlike and impressionistic. Reviewers consistently praise the animation, quality and visual cohesion, noting that the game is closer to a created animated feature than a conventional indie title. However, some critics observe that the visual polish occasionally makes the limited gameplay more noticeable, as the high production values draw attention to how little mechanical interaction is required. Even so, the art design is widely regarded as one of the game's strongest elements. Music is the centerpiece of Mixtape. The entire game is structured around a created soundtrack of licensed tracks that accompany each memory, essentially functioning as an emotional anchor for the story. The protagonist, Stacey Rockford, experiences life through music, and the game mirrors that perspective by tying nearly every major moment to a song. Critics consistently describe the soundtrack as except with no filler, tracks and careful placement that enhances both tone and pacing. Importantly, the music never feels like a showcase of taste or excess. Instead, it complements the narrative naturally, often elevating otherwise simple scenes into emotionally resonant moments. The original score and sound design are also praised for blending seamlessly with licensed tracks, creating a continuous auditory experience. Many reviewers highlight the soundtrack as a major reason Mixtape remains memorable long after its short runtime ends. Mixtape tells a grounded coming-of-age story about three close friends, Stacey Rockford, Van Slater and Cassandra Moreno. The narrative follows their last day and night together before Stacey leaves for a small hometown to pursue her dream career in New York, signaling the end of a formative chapter in their lives. The stakes of the story are deliberately small. There is no world to save, no grand conspiracy. Instead, the drama comes from unspoken tensions, looming separation, and the fear of growing apart. Reviewers emphasize that this restraint is precisely what gives Mixtape its emotional power, as it mirrors real teenage experiences rather than exaggerating them. Character writing is frequently praised, particularly the natural chemistry between the three leads. Despite the game's short length, many players report forming strong attachments to the characters, aided by sharp dialogue and authentic interaction that avoid cliché. Yes, Mixtape is widely regarded as very good, especially within the narrative adventure genre. While it may disappoint players seeking complex gameplay or replayability, it succeeds emphatically at what it sets out to do. deliver a tightly crafted, emotionally driven experience that blends music, visuals and storytelling into a cohesive whole. Its strengths lie in presentation, atmosphere and emotional resonance, making it particularly appealing to players who enjoy titles like Life is Strange or The Artful Escape. Mixtape may not redefine gameplay systems, but it stands out as one of those 2026 most effective and artistically confident indie releases. If you liked playing any of Dunk Nod's games or Life is Strange as mentioned before, you should give this one a look. While sure, it's an amazing experience, especially if you love music. This is another gem that was added to Game Pass and you should give it a look. Game Pass is literally on fire at the moment and just keeps giving us game after game, and this year's been an absolute banger. If you like indie games like this, subscribe, like and follow EPG-Every Platform Gamer. You can find us on every social platform, TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook, and check out our website. And remember, game anywhere and everywhere.